Okay, well, here we are back again, another weekend. Our door handles. They're from a mid-90s 379 Peterbilt. It's the outer outside handle with the lock mechanism and everything on it, so that's kind of handy. And then this is the inside handle. And use these 1/8" steel rods here to build connecting linkage. I have a bunch of bits and pieces in here, bolts and screws and angle brackets. I'm going to have to make some bell cranks to reverse the direction of some of the pull. Door handle, the outer one, going to go in here somewhere. Oops, that didn't work very well. Somewhere in here, don't know exactly where yet. I'm going to have to put a steel panel in here, I think, piece of sheet metal to mount this thing to. This actually goes in behind the skin, so when it's skinned, all you're going to see is from this raised lip, this portion of it here, all this is hidden, in behind the skin, and there'll just be a hole for the door lock, and that's it. That's going to go in here. The inside one, I think, will go up somewhere in here on the opposite side. Not this handle, obviously, but the other one, but right in here somewhere on the opposite side. Figure out exactly where yet. First thing I have to do, though, is slide this slide out in and figure out and measure across where this diagonal tube is in here, and project that through the door, because that's what the skin has to rivet to. So you can see there's one of the diagonal rivet patterns there. Well, the next one goes through the door and part way through this slide out here. So I have to slide the slide out in. I'll run a piece of masking tape across the opening it, and then put a piece of tube in there to get that in there, and then I can figure out exactly where the door handles have to go. So there's my first task. So the slide out's in. Put the piece of masking tape on there where the angle has to go, or the piece of tubing has to go. I don't think I'm going to put anything in this area here, because that's where the door handle has to go. It's such a short span anyways that I'll just put a rivet here and another rivet here on the skin, and I won't need anything in between, so I think that'll work. Carry on. Okay, so there's the next step. There's that diagonal brace in there. It lines up with the one on the slide out. And the two door handles are in and mounted. There and there. That's the inside one, so this is the back side of it. And now I just have to build a bunch of bell cranks and whatnot to connect them all together. Fun, fun, fun. Now when it was getting too hard to, or it looked like it was going to be too hard to actually be able to work on all this with a piece of sheet metal in there, in behind it, so I just tacked them right in place, just flush. Skin's going to go right over top of it all. So yeah, better that way. It's going to get pretty hard to work in there. Alright, so I'm a little bit farther along here. Got little bell cranks made up. They're just tacked in there right now. Seems like I do a lot of tacking, but anyway. So the door latches are connected together. Now I just have to hook basically do the same thing, bell cranks like that, and connect it to this rod. So I'll have to put another one here, another one down here, and then that'll connect the door handles to that. But at this point, it door opens with one hand now, so that's good. Continue on. Alright, and there is the inside one working. I still don't have the outside one working yet, but I got the inside one working. I'm going to have to put a little spring on the return on this handle. It's a little bit stiff, so I'm just a little spring on there is all it's going to need. Just doesn't want to quite come back yet all the way, but just a like I say, just a little return spring in there, and that will long step. I'll just put a little return spring right here from there just to keep that pulled back. And I just have one left to do. It'll be a little bit more complicated because the lock mechanism here is in this little slot here has a little bypass, which, you know, when it is locked, when it's over like that, then it'll push the rod up. So I'm going to use the same 1/4 inch rod that I used there. Oh, it's not focusing very well, is it? Anyways, the same 1/4 inch rod I used there. Gotta go around and touch everything up with a grinder a little bit. Get rid of my ugly little tacks, but anyways, gonna work quite nicely. I'll get this from the inside. There we go. Kind of looks like that snakes and ladders game. Linkage going everywhere. Anyways, but it works. So I didn't get as far as I wanted to last weekend. This is my last video. I got everything except this outside door here, or handle here, working. I got part of the mechanism working here. I just have to put the rod across and another bell crank over in here. Just getting ready to drill the hole at that height there, back in here. Ran out of material. These little clips here for holding rods are a bit of a pain to come by. Anyways, so they work really good, but I guess most people don't need 10 of them. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 10. Anyways, so I'm going to try and finish this off. Finish off the outside of that header there. And I had been in contact with International Bus Parts about reproducing the skin, and the price they gave me was just retarded. So I think I'm gonna have to come up with plan B. I can reskin all the steel on the entire bus for about 1/3 of what they wanted for 3 full panels. So 5 foot by 3 foot panel they wanted $750 for. I need 6, so figure that out. And I can buy smooth stainless 3 foot by 10 foot for $105. So I think I will be reskinning the whole thing in smooth stainless instead. Not written in stone yet, but that's what I'm thinking. I told them that they're going to see what they could do with the price, and but I haven't heard back from them yet, so I don't know whether they really care all that much or not. So anyways, that's where we're at. So I don't know whether I'm going to be reskinning the whole thing, or if they can do something with the price and make it more economical. Anyways, that's my story with that so far. So I'm going to just continue on with this. I was kind of hoping to know by now, because I'd like to put some skin on this door, but still a little premature for that yet. So I guess I'll just have to wait. I put aluminum skin on the top of it. But again, I'm thinking about putting a window in there, so it's a little bit premature for that too. So I guess I'll just have to wait a bit. I have all the seals for the slide outs coming. Just ordered them a couple days ago, and I have the windows, the slider windows for the drivers and passenger here. I'll order them, got that all figured out, and I'll order them on Monday. So yeah, I have the shave head rivets to redo all these rivets. Well, not these ones, but to match these ones. I have them ordered, as well as the shave tool. That'll be kind of interesting to show you guys, because they're a pop rivet, or a blind rivet, I guess you could call it. They end up looking just like the buck rivets. They don't have an open end like those rivets. They look like the ones beside them here that are the buck rivet. So they're pretty cool. Makes it all all the riveting look original. So that's kind of nice. So those are ordered, as well as the tool. Yeah. So if I get far enough along here, I started messing with this door. I'll continue along with that too, but we'll see how things go. Still not particularly warm here, so my hours of operation are a little bit limited. But anyways, we'll continue on. Okay, so this was more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be. Of course, when you think it's going to be easy, it isn't, and when you think it's going to be tough, it works pretty simple for some reason. Anyways, yeah, so this works pretty easy. No problem at all. This one, on the other hand, you open it, that opens very nicely. But if you just pull on it, which then puts a little bit of pressure on the door latches, it's a little bit stiff. It still opens okay. Well, that time it didn't. Yeah, there we go. I hope it's just because the latches are new. And it's not the end of the world if you just use your thumb, and because doing it like that, you're not putting any pressure on the door latches. If you pull on it like this, as soon as you pull on it, you're loading the door latches, and they don't want to release very well. It wouldn't work at all until I lubed it up. So hoping that when I as it gets used a little bit, that it'll free itself up. Otherwise, I may have to look into it a little bit more. Anyways, so the lock works nicely. don't know if you can see in there or not, but bypasses, works good. So, not sure if on one of my previous videos that I'd mentioned what I was going to do with these locks that are on the, actually on the door latches here. I'll put power locks on it, and then have the slides. I'm going to have locks here as well, so that they lock in when they're closed. And so I think I'm going to do the same thing with those latches, those locks on those latches too. I'll take and just have a lock system, and hit the, I don't know if it'll be keyed or if it just be a switch or what, but just have it so that when that is locked, all these things lock up and they can't open. I don't know all the details worked out yet, but something like that anyways, and I'll have to think about it a little bit and see how to do that, whether to have it on, each one on an individual switch with a light on it, with a micro switch on it, so that it turns the light on, so you know that it's positively locked, or what. Anyways, I'll figure that out somewhere in the future. Poor thing needs a skin now. Alright, so I'll move on to the hitter. Yeehaw.